My personal favourite footballing tale has to be the criminally underappreciated Lions of Mesopotamia. Now, you may or may not have heard of these guys and what they accomplished together, but I can say this with absolute certainty: there's simply nothing quite like it. This team's resilience extended far beyond the pitch, transcending political instability, religious division and war, an achievement that temporarily unified a completely broken country. This is the incredible story of Iraq's football to play the final, considering the risk of further bloodshed for their people. But a grieving mother who had just lost her son would then appear on live television, begging the national team to keep playing, and claim she wouldn't bury her son until they brought the trophy home. So despite the endless sea of tragedy that had been imposed on these players, they stood tall and decided to fight once more. On paper, it was another David v Goliath matchup, Iraq against Saudi Arabia. The Saudis had comfortably progressed to the final, topping their group before taking out Uzbekistan in the quarters and Japan in the semis. It was their 6th final in 23 years, and they were now gunning for a record 4th Asian Cup title. But Iraq were fearless of their opponents. They'd already defeated big teams previously. The only legitimate fear they had was further suffering for their people. But the fighting spirit of Iraq shone through that day, and they rallied for one last dance in front of 60,000 fans in Jakarta. As you'd expect in a high-stakes final, tense affair. Both teams created chances, but few were clear-cut. Iraq looked the better side throughout, with the Saudis unable to match their physicality and composure in midfield, but it was going to take something special to break the deadlock. That moment would eventually arrive in the 72nd minute, courtesy of a set piece, with who else but Yunus Mahmoud arriving at the back post to give Iraq the 1-0 lead. Mahmoud's late header was to be the only goal that day, with the Lions of Mesopotamia prevailing. The fairy tale was now complete. In a country so devoid of good news and institutions to be proud of, these players reminded a nation on the brink of total collapse the importance of